Welcome to the Fancounters Celebrity Podcast. My name's Nick. Thanks so much for being here. You can follow us on social media, on Twitter at Fancounters Live. We've got a big Facebook group you can join. Search Fancounters and join over 29,000 people that are following the show. If you want a more intimate experience, look up Sharpie Nation on Facebook. That's our private group. You'll have to ask to join, but I'll let you in. This week on the show, we're going to talk to another young Hollywood star. She's a huge upcoming star. Lexy Kolker is her name. She is just 10 years old, but at that very young age, she's already got 3 seasons of the show Shooter under her belt, playing the daughter of Ryan Phillippe. She has also filmed a movie called Freaks. It's available now on Redbox. It's where I discovered her, and I thought once I saw that movie, I had to have her on the show to talk about it. And we are going to do that on the show today. If Lexy Kolker's name sounds familiar, you might be thinking of her sister Ava Kolker, who was starring in the Boy Meets World reboot called Girl Meets World. She is currently playing a role on the Disney show Sydney to the Max. But we are talking to her sister Lexy. Lexy's going to tell us all about the movie Freaks today, and we're going to learn a lot more about her as well. You've tuned into a great episode. We hope you enjoy our conversation with Lexy Kolker, coming up right now.
Coming to you from nowhere near the entertainment capital of the world, this is Fancounters with Nick and Elizabeth on the Podfix Network.
There was this mob of people, and they're screaming my name.
Crazy fans.
Stop following me. Don't come around my house. If you do, the cops are going to be at yours.
If I'm having dinner with my wife, don't sit down at my table. Don't follow me into the bathroom.
Can I take a picture? Oh my God.
I think this guy wants to fight me. Ended up being a fan.
I'm the only one that's ever been on Sam Jackson and lived to tell about it.
Well, guess what? I have a big surprise for you.
That's why we call it Fancounters.
I don't think you're going to last on the air very long.
Lexy Kolker, welcome to Fancounters. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, of course.
Audiences first saw you in a 2015 episode of Criminal Minds. Since then, you've been in over a dozen movies and TV series. We all know that you have an older sister who was in Girl Meets World named Ava. Did your passion for acting kind of come from her a little bit?
It actually does. Because when I was really young, she started acting, and I got to watch her act every day, and it made me really inspired to do that also. So I talked to my parents about it, and they said okay, and then I just started acting.
Excellent. Now, I know Sabrina Carpenter's sister on Girl Meets World was on a lot of episodes doing background work. Did you ever do any background work?
I actually did. On the season finale episode, they were doing like a bunch of like videos that were sent in from fans, and they put in a video of me actually of doing an impression of Sparkle. I didn't even know that someone just took a video of me doing it. So I got to do that, and they put that in the show. So that was really awesome.
The reason I wanted you to be on this show is to talk about a film that, you know, once I saw it, I was very skeptical because sometimes indie movies at Redbox get a lot of bad reviews. But this movie that I'm going to talk about with you called Freaks, people on Redbox love it, which is very unusual for them to give a kind of an indie film very high remarks. So I checked it out and really felt like it should have been in theaters. So tell us a little bit about Freaks and your character, and kind of, if people haven't seen it, let's pump them up for it.
I play a 7-year-old girl named Chloe, and she's never been outside. And basically the whole movie is about how you're finding out why she's never been outside and what she discovers in her whole adventure.
And you were playing that girl that had never been outside, so they made it so that you were afraid of the outside world. In fact, very early on in the movie, this is not a spoiler, your dad in the movie says to you, if you go outside, they will kill you. And as an audience member, I thought, what are you telling this kid?
I know.
So how weird was it to play something that is, you know, something that's kind of far out there? You know, is it hard to get into character?
Well, I definitely think it was different, but I just really thought about, wow, how would I feel if I had never been outside? How would I feel if my dad was telling me that? So I really just tried to get into the character and relate to Chloe as much as I could. And then once I actually started filming, I was like, oh my gosh, I really do get Chloe. So it wasn't that hard for me to get in character. At first it was a little confusing, but then I really got it.
You know, my favorite part in the movie is how you really do start out rooting against Chloe's dad, only to find out that, you know, he's not so bad after all. What's your favorite moment in the film?
I think that when Chloe first steps outside is a really special moment because she's never seen trees, she's never seen flowers, and it's just such a moment that she could embrace because like she's never been outside before, and it was just such a special moment for her. And I think that was one of my favorite parts because it was so like she was so in awe. To us, that's like it's only outside, but to her, it's like the whole world and like oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I think that was a really cool moment for her.
Now, how old were you when you filmed the movie? Because you're 10 now.
Yeah. I was 7 and I turned 8 on set.
That's unbelievable because I have twins, 7-year-old daughters. They'll turn 8 next month. And I just can't imagine them turning out a performance like you did. That is some very natural ability. So I give you a lot of kudos for that.
Thank you so much.
So we know that there's a lot that you don't relate to with Chloe. Is there anything that you did relate? What was relatable for you and to put yourself into that role?
I definitely think that me and Chloe are both very tough and we know what we want and we're very out there. And another thing is that we both value family, and family is very important to both of us.
Now, there's a lot of talent in the movie Freaks, including the guy who played your dad. He's a former child actor himself. I hope I'm saying his name right, but Emil Hirsch, is that right?
Yeah, Emil Hirsch, yeah.
Did you pick up any career advice from him throughout the shooting of the film?
Yes, I did, actually. There was one part of the film process when I had to do a scene where he was yelling at me, and it got very real for me, and I had to take a break because I just couldn't take it. And he came to me and he said that it was really good to be in the moment because that's something that actors wait for their whole life. And if you are feeling like that, just put it in the scene. If you're feeling like you should cry, cry. If you're feeling like you should yell, yell. Because that makes everything even more real if you're actually doing what you feel. Because it's not just what the script is saying, it's what you're actually feeling. So that's the advice he gave me, which was such wise advice.
Was the director open to allowing you to kind of put some of that advice into play?
Oh yeah. Our directors, almost the whole movie was improv, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even your stuff? I mean, as far as things you would say and react?
Oh, yeah. They would just give us, like, the thing of the scene, like, what the scene's about, and it would say, all right, just go for it. Say whatever you want. And if they wanted us to say something, they would say, okay, Lexy, say this. And then, yeah, way more than half of the movie is just us improvising.
Wow. But there was a script, though, right? I mean, they had a plan in place.
There was a script, of course, but they told us to read the script once, but don't learn anything from it.
Huh. Wow, that's very unique because, usually they want you to at least know your lines. And did that put extra pressure on you to be like, wow, I don't know if I can do a role like that where it's not so, tied down?
It actually took a lot of pressure off of me because, leading the movie is like 95 pages. But when I heard that I could just improv, it made me very comfortable because I'm very comfortable actually with improv. So it actually took a lot of stress off of me because when I do improv, I work really well with other people. In addition to some very raw talent and natural talent that you have, are you also doing classes to enhance different abilities? I never have taken an acting class, but sometimes if I have a really hard audition that my parents can't help me with, I have a coach that helps me. I've only ever done coaching like 3 or 4 times, but yeah. You also had some great scenes with the legendary Bruce Dern. I think he's just a fantastic actor. And going back to that improv, I think I read a few interviews where almost every time he spoke a line, he said something different. And so, do you have a favorite story working on set with Bruce? Well, it's not about the improv, but I do have a really great story. Do you want me to tell that? Or absolutely. Yeah, no, go ahead. Okay. So after we wrapped, I went to Bruce's trailer, and he told me that he had never seen an actress as young as me with such a natural and amazing talent. And he compared me to his daughter, Laura Dern, which was amazing because, she's also amazing. And he said that he's only met like 3 people that were like as good as actresses as me, like not even at that age, just in general. And like that, and he extended on that, but that's just kind of a short version. But like that in that moment was like that made me feel so warm inside because, like, that just meant the whole world because that was coming from Bruce Dern. I mean,
Right.
how can you not love that?
That's real advice, too.
Yeah.
Now, Amanda Crew played your mom in the film. It was a very atypical role because for her and you, it required a lot of different emotions. I mean, you didn't even expect her to show up in places where she did. So it was surprising to your character. So how helpful was it to kind of allow yourself to just feel the fear and feel the sadness and let those, like, how do you bring that out in those moments where you need it?
Well, the whole cast and crew on set created such a safe environment for me, and that really helped me just be able to get all the emotions because they were all like, hey, Lexy, it's okay. If you need a snack, just let us know. And my whole family was there supporting me, and just everyone was always there to support me. So that really helped me get into my comfort zone of getting to that emotion.
Now, did you only film during the day? I don't recall any night scenes with you.
I think we've only filmed in the day. I don't know, it was a little bit ago, but I'm pretty sure we only filmed during the day.
Okay. And the house that you filmed in was really dirty and nasty. It really showed that you guys had been living in this house for a long time and been shut in for your entire life. Was the movie filmed in a real house, or was the interior on a soundstage?
Yeah, it was actually in a real house. So yeah, it was definitely an experience because like it makes the experience a lot more real if it's not just a soundstage because it's a real house and like, you know, it just makes the whole experience so much more realistic.
Were people living in the house prior to the filming?
Not when we were filming there.
No, I know not while, but beforehand, like was that an occupied house?
I think so, and I think they redid pretty much the whole house. I think. Yeah,
because it was set dressed very well. Was it hot and uncomfortable? As hot and uncomfortable as it looked in the film?
It was in my room. It wasn't as much downstairs, but it definitely was in my room because my room was actually kind of in like a attic.
Freaks is kind of in that sci-fi category. I wouldn't call it a horror film, but definitely sci-fi. Is this a genre that you enjoy watching, or even at 10, are you able to watch a lot of movies in that genre?
I definitely love sci-fi. I don't have any movies at the top of my mind right now, but I do definitely love sci-fi and like that genre.
Do you like, scary movies? Is that something that you enjoy?
Yeah, I like scary movies.
I just let my 8-year-olds watch Goosebumps 2, which I was kind of concerned about because, you know, it's a lot of haunted, scary things coming to life. And I thought, man, the last thing I need is for them to have nightmares. Did you ever go home from the set having nightmares with any of this stuff happening?
No, because everything that happened was not real, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they created such a safe environment for me. So it wasn't anything like scary for me. Like everything was just, you know, like normal filming, but it obviously wasn't normal filming. But it didn't actually feel like you were in a horror movie when you were filming.
Okay. Well, let's move on to something a little bit more fun to talk about. On Fancounters, I always like to hear about our celebrities' real life. Like, what is it really like to be you? So are you homeschooled? Do you go to regular school? What's that situation?
I go to regular school. I'm thinking about homeschooling for middle school because everything is getting so busy and stuff. But yeah, I go to real school right now. I miss a lot of school for acting, but I really like the experience of going to elementary school because if I do homeschool for the rest of my life, it obviously won't be the same. So I really enjoy the experience of going to elementary school right now.
And what, in contrast, did your sister do? Did she also go to regular school?
Well, she did for elementary school, but then in 6th grade, she got Sydney to the max, so she had to homeschool because she's on set every day. Okay.
And does she feel like she's missing out on stuff? Meaning, if she's feeling like that, are you worried that you might?
Well, she's on a set with 3 other kids, so she's on a Disney show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like she's only around adults, but I guess, I don't know, I feel like when I homeschool, I live by a lot of my friends, so I'll still get to see my friends, and my sister will be there with me because we're not far from age, so I'm not that nervous. I'm kind of sad because, you know, I won't see my friends every day like I do now.
Right.
But yeah.
Do people at your school treat you any differently? Like after you're away for a while doing a show or a project and then you come back, maybe you're the center of attention, maybe you're not. What's it like for you when you do come back to school?
It's not they don't treat me any differently because I've gone to that school with the same people since kindergarten. So I they're we're kind of all just close friends. We don't really talk about my acting stuff at school. We're kind of just normal kids, and it's not necessarily good, but it's sometimes just not relieving, but it's just a different experience when you don't have people always asking you, because then I can just talk to them, be a normal kid while I'm outside of acting, while I'm just with them.
Have you been asked for an autograph at school?
No.
Okay. So that really is real. You've been to school with these guys for so long that it is kind of like a normal thing. Now, your family plays a big part of your life. What are some of the things that your family likes to do for fun?
Well, we love hiking, sports. We love going to the park and, just hanging out there. We have dogs, so we love hanging out with our dogs. We love swimming, outdoors. We whenever we're free, we love having quality family time because my family is very close. So, yeah.
Do you guys live in the LA area, and are you originally from there?
We live in the valley, so we have but LA's not too far from us.
But you've lived in that area your whole life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Some people move there to chase their dreams and that kind of thing, but you were already planted there, so that's what I was checking. Okay. Yeah. Now, you and your sister Ava have been very involved in several charity event appearances. Do you have a charity right now that's kind of real close to your heart?
Well, I think right now we're doing this not dog charity, but this shelter is called Paw Works, and they rescue dogs from kill shelters. And right now we go there, we try to go there as much as we can to give love to the dogs. And they're really amazing. They're a really amazing charity because they rescue so many dogs and they save so many dogs' lives. And they treat all the dogs before they put them for adoption. And I actually rescued a dog. My dog is from there. And they're just such an amazing charity to be part of. So, yeah.
Do you just have one dog at home then?
We have 2 dogs.
Oh, and what are their names?
Mia and Peanut.
I also read that you're into musical theater. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you go to Broadway shows either when they're touring, into LA or, have you gone to New York?
Well, I'm going to New York actually in February. I think we're planning on going to a Broadway show. I've never been there. I've never been to an actual Broadway show, but I really want to go because I'm so into musicals and I love them. I just love singing. I just love everything about them. So I'm really excited to actually go and see one. But I haven't been one. So.
Okay. Do you have one that you've maybe researched that you're like, oh, if we go to one, this is the one I want to see?
Maybe Hamilton.
Really?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, all of my friends love it. So I think it would be such a phenomenal experience to see Hamilton on Broadway.
Absolutely. I did see it when it toured, and it was phenomenal. It did live up to the expectations. I thought you would pick something like, say, Mean Girls or something that would be on Broadway.
well, I love all those movies too, but Hamilton it's just like a classic, and I think it would just be it'd be amazing to see such an amazing musical like that.
Yes, certainly current pop culture for sure.
Yeah.
So I also like to hear about your experiences with your fans. It's our favorite question, and since we started the show, that's why we started it. I really want to get the guests talking about what is it like? We always know if you meet a celebrity what it was like for you, but what was it like for them? And I know that you might not think, well, I'm a celebrity, but you're still in the spotlight. So have you met fans and had various experiences, whether they be happy ones or weird ones? Do you have any to share with us?
Well, once I was at dinner with my family, and there were these 2 adults that watched Shooter. That was a really cool experience because I was younger and I didn't really get recognized a lot. So even though that was only one person, I didn't get recognized. That was one of the only times I got recognized back a few years ago. Okay. So I was really excited, and my family got to see me. So it was that was a really cool experience because it was one of my first times ever getting recognized, and it was just so cool being in the spotlight then, because everyone was there to watch, and I just felt really special in that moment.
Now, when you go to say the mall or something with your sister, Do you guys get recognized together? I mean, maybe she, because of her length and Disney type projects, they have a lot of younger following where she might get recognized more. Has that happened where people have come up to you two together?
We both get recognized sometimes. It honestly just depends if more kids or more adults are at the mall, because obviously she's on the Disney show and I'm in like an adult movie.
Right.
So it just really depends. But yeah, we both sometimes get recognized at the mall.
And has anything weird happened, or have you gotten any strange gifts at all, or anything like that happen yet?
No, not really yet, because we're both kind of young, so none of that has really happened to us. But it probably will sooner than later.
Sooner than later, yeah. You mentioned the show Shooter, and you played the daughter of Ryan Phillippe's character on that show. So at one point, I really have to binge this show, because when I only really discovered it because I was doing research on you. The show sounds great. What can you tell me about filming a show over a movie? Is filming for television and movies different?
For sure, because when you film a show, you go at different times. You know, you can go like 5 days apart. Like, you never know when you're going to be there, especially when you're like a recurring guest. But when you're filming a movie, you go there like every day for like a month, and then you're done. Mm-hmm. So it's very different, because shows you go multiple times, different days, you know. But movie, you go once, get it done, you know, and then you wait for it to come out.
So when you're a recurring guest, does that mean that you could be called the day before you're needed, or is that also scheduled, you know, so when you're going in?
It honestly just depends. You can get the call time a week before, a day before, 2 days before. It honestly kind of just depends what day, what show, you know.
Have those call times ever interrupted something where you had to, you know, cancel something? Because obviously you have to do these shows.
Well, once it wasn't a show, but it was on an audition. I was in Catalina Island, and I had to go back a day early because I had an audition that I had to get to. And once I was in Palm Springs, and I had a commercial audition, so I drove to Hollywood and back to Palm Springs in the same day.
Oh, my gosh. And with that kind of traffic, that had to take much longer than it would have normally.
Oh, yeah. My sister also actually had that experience. Different times, though.
So what shows do you watch these days? What are you watching or streaming? What are your favorites?
Well, I watch... Oh, God, so much. I watch Riverdale 911, Castle, I don't know. Oh, The Good Place. I like those kind of shows. But I think I use Netflix a lot. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'd say those are my top shows.
We talked about fan experiences, but have you ever met somebody where you've been starstruck?
I met Gwen Stefani.
Well, that had to make you freak out a little bit.
Yeah, that was a really cool experience. Who else? I met a lot of cool people. Oh, I don't know. I can't think of any right now.
But nobody where you really lost your mind and you couldn't speak?
No, not yet.
Is there somebody that you can think of that you might be speechless around?
Probably Lady Gaga.
Okay.
I mean, she's, amazing. Who else? Probably the band Queen. Obviously not Freddie Mercury, but I love that band.
Yeah.
So
they're still touring now with Adam Lambert, so that could be a possibility.
Yeah, for sure.
What else do you have coming up? Do you have anything you want to promote? Some upcoming projects?
I'm going. As I told you earlier, I'm going to New York in February.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going there for a pilot, a mob series that I'm really excited to film. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
In other interviews, you mentioned a possibility of maybe a multi-franchise sequel type situation. Is that a dead thing, or did it happen, or can you talk about it?
Well, we were actually talking about doing this three horror movie series kind of thing, where it would be in the first movie I was kind of in it, in the second movie I was in it more, and the third movie I was in it a lot. So we've been talking about that for sure. We're not sure because it's we've been really busy, but that is definitely a possibility.
Awesome. And I know that these things can hang in development for months, weeks, years, for a long time. So they do take a long time to come to fruition. Yeah,
for sure.
So Lexy, tell me, where can we follow you on social media?
Well, on Instagram Instagram, you can follow me at Lexy Kolker. On TikTok, you can follow me at Lexy Kolker _. And yeah.
And are you pretty active on those sites, or are those things run by your parents where you're not making the posts, or what can fans expect?
My Instagram is run by my mom, but I run my TikTok. So yes, I'm active.
And is there anything that people don't know about you or might be surprised to learn about you that you want to tell us here today? Like, is there anything that might make us really surprised?
Well, maybe a lot of people know this, but a lot of people are always surprised when I say this. My real name is Alexa. Probably already know that. But a lot of people think my only sister is Ava. I actually have 3 sisters.
I was going to ask you about that. And they're all older, right?
Yeah, they are. Ava's 12. My other sister Jade is 18, and my other sister Kayla is 20.
Wow. And are they in the business as well, or no?
Ava is, but Kayla and Jade aren't.
I really appreciate you joining us, Lexy. You told me a lot of great stories, and I'm glad to hear more about Freaks as well. And I hope this is a movie that people really should go see, because it didn't get the PR that a lot of big budget films do, but the special effects in this stuff do qualify it for a pretty big budget motion picture. So Freaks is the one to see.
Well, thank you for having me.
My thanks to Lexy Kolker for being on the show this week. It was a school night, and I appreciate you taking your time to join us on Fancounters. Please go check out the movie Freaks. You can get it at Redbox. I'm pretty sure it's streaming somewhere, and you can also buy it online as well. Freaks is the name of the movie. Rent this thing and watch it, and you won't be disappointed. I can guarantee you. The one thing I did forget to talk to Lexy about is the fact that there is an action figure with her depiction on it from the movie. And I didn't ask, and I meant to. It was on my list of things, and I just blew through it. But I wonder how she feels about having an action figure with that character from that movie. The world will never know. We're back next week with another celebrity guest, so we hope you check back with us. The best way to do that is to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app. Anywhere you're listening to the show, just hit subscribe. It will auto-download all of our episodes for you, so you won't miss anything. Of course, you already know that because you know how to listen to a podcast. I'm still explaining to people who I meet how to actually subscribe to a podcast, but you're already there, so thanks for listening. While you're just a few clicks away, please give us a 5-star review. Say a few good words about the show on whatever app you're listening through. And that's going to do it for this week. I hope you have a great weekend, and we will be back with you next week with another celebrity guest here on the Fancounters Celebrity Podcast. Have a great week, everybody.